All right, I have my little helper here. Never mind. So I have the ultrasonic cleaner set up next to a stable area, and I plugged it in to the wall outlet. It's a 3-prong outlet, and basic instruction that I read is always make sure you have more than half of the water. Do not overfill. And you can also see the parts that I have here. I have two cassettes that I need to clean, and also a 11-speed chain that I took off from an old bike. I used a little thing to just hold them together. And to show you guys the interface, pretty simple. There's temperature, set temperature, actual temperature. This is the power to turn on and off temperature. This is the power to change the set temperature. This is to change the timer. Maximum, I think it was 30 minutes. So right now it's at 10 minutes. This is the power to turn on the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm just gonna turn it on. I never turned it on before, so I want to see how loud it is. Okay, it is pretty loud. They give you this lid, and they call this noise canceling lid. So I want to see if it's still loud when we turn on the ultrasonic cleaner. And again, they always say you need to do a pre-wash before you actually put your components in there. For me, it's a bicycle part, so do a pre-wash for at least 10 minutes to get the air bubble out of the existing detergent or cleaner that you have in here. If you see over here, I have put in a mixture of detergents. I used some of the just the Kirkland dish detergent liquid. I poured in a little bit of the dishwasher detergent, and I did not use the citrus degreaser because I think for those two, I want to give it a first try. Just use mild detergent to see if it's able to remove all those grease over here, which I think it should. If it doesn't, then we'll consider using the really heavy-duty stripping citrus degreaser. And let's see how loud it is when we have this lid on there. Turn on the... And it beeps once it stops. I'm going to start dropping in the chain and the cassette in there, and then I'm going to restart the thing. Okay. Again, the water is pretty hot because I used the boiling kettle to boil the water. And I'm going to clean this Ultegra cassette first. Hopefully it fits. Let's see. Almost. So what I can do is probably just clean without the actual basket. And then I think the cassette will be able to drop in there. But for now, let's just start cleaning and see what happens. Because this basket is preventing this is a 1134 cassette. So if you have anything larger than a 32, you might consider a wider ultrasonic cleaner, okay? For now, let me just start cleaning again. It resets to 10 minutes. I'm gonna start. All right, so 10 minutes passed. Again, my boiling water right now, it's still at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, so I didn't use the heating element at all. It's mostly just ultrasonic cleaning. And again, the machine is really loud, so make sure you use this at an area where nobody else is gonna endure this really high-pitched noise. How did it do? Let's see. So if you're looking at this, close to the bottom of the transducer, this area, it did remove all the grease over there, but anything else that's past that transducer area far away, the grease is still there. So just keep that in mind. Anything that's floating to the top is not going to be cleaned properly. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove the basket and just soak this, leave all the parts in there. And this time I'm not going to use the household detergent because I don't think that it's effective at cleaning the heavy grease from the bicycles. Okay, so as you can see, still a lot of grease left over here. It could do better. Okay, let me put the machine down. See how the chain does. And the chain is still pretty dirty. It didn't really remove much. I want to see the underside. Let's see. And again, everything's really hot, so just be careful. Alright, you know what? The interesting thing is the underside got quite a lot more cleaner. Again, it's pertaining to the location of those parts, how far they are to the transducer, the two little motor thing on the bottom. They are what's making those ultrasonic vibrations. So if your parts is far away, it's not as effective. So they have to be as low, as close to the transducer as possible. For the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna have this removed. I'm gonna pour some fresh boiling water in there. And I'm gonna use actual degreaser, okay? Citrus-based degreaser. This is from Zep. It's not terribly expensive. So I'm gonna use this mixed with hot water. And then we're gonna do another cleaning on those parts. Hopefully, it's gonna get this in a much better condition as compared to now, okay? So yeah, don't use household detergent. They don't work as effective. And also, make sure your parts are really close to the bottom of the transducer. And if you can find a square ultrasonic cleaner, I think it's better for bicycle parts, in my opinion. Maybe something that's larger than 3 liter, maybe a 6 liter that's square. That might work better, in my opinion, okay? All right, so I put the parts in there without the little basket. And again, I'm gonna use my hot water because hot water makes cleaning better. And I dumped the water, just poured it out in the yard since it's just detergent. And we're gonna try to cover everything best we can. All right, so that's the maximum fill line. It's a 3 liter ultrasonic cleaner. However, the fill line is at around 1.7 to 1.8 liters. So, give or take 0.2 liters or something. So 3 liter rated, you're not gonna be able to use the full 3 liter capacity. Okay, there's always gonna be some room left over there. I'm gonna pour, let's see how much to pour. I don't know, I'm just gonna pour a proportional amount of the citrus detergent in there, and we're gonna clean this again for about, I would say 15 minutes. I'm gonna let it run for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna agitate around 7 minutes and see what happens after this cleaning with a proper degreaser. All right, guys, I'm back, and this time I try to use a proper heavy citrus degreaser on those parts that I try to clean prior using regular degreaser or like regular household detergent, which didn't do a good job. And I tried to use proper degreaser. It still didn't do a good job. And as you can see, the only part it cleaned are the part that were actually just literally resting on the bottom. Every other parts that are floating, it just cannot do the job. Okay, so it's still super dirty. Yeah, and even this one is not as high above the transducers. It's still not getting cleaned. And as you can see, lots of debris left over there. So the chain is pretty much same thing with the heavy degreaser. It still left a lot to be desired, okay? So I'm not impressed by ultrasonic cleaner for cleaning bicycle parts. Now what I'm impressed about is how well it just quickly cleaned my wife's rings and my wedding band. So those, it did a fantastic job. It just made it sparkle. So my conclusion for ultrasonic cleaner anything smaller than a 3 liter, okay? If you want to clean jewelry parts and smaller parts, and those parts are able to sit right at the bottom, right next to the transducers, yes, get one of those smaller ones. It's going to be very effective at cleaning those that stuck on the bottom. If you have any parts that cannot be fully submerged to the bottom, closer to the transducer, it's not going to do a good job. Okay, so just keep in mind, only small parts on home-based, non-commercial ultrasonic cleaners is going to be effective on. So if you have a large cassette, no, it's not going to be able to clean it properly. And you probably have to dump a lot of degreasers in there for it to kind of work, right? So my go-to standard for me personally for bicycle parts cleaning is still my good old trusty Goo Gone. Okay, this thing, you just spray this onto all the dirty, nasty bicycle parts, let it rest, and then just use a medium pressure like water hose. You get a water hose, you get it into the jet mode or like even the fan mode, spray it off, and just a quick wipe. Those parts are going to be super clean. They're going to be much cleaner than using an ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, so this definitely didn't do a good job. My advice, save your money. Don't waste your money on an ultrasonic cleaner. Instead, just go to any hardware store, go on Amazon, buy the Goo Gone. I use a Pro Power. This thing actually, it's a spray gel, so it kind of stuck onto the surface, and it works its magic in dissolving all the grease and adhesive parts, whatever that needs to be removed. And after that, all you need is just a powerful wash, and every single grease just gets washed away. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be using this as much. I might probably just sell it and still go back to just use Goo Gone. So maybe at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys the results using Goo Gone and just a quick water hose rinse compared to how the ultrasonic cleaner does. And then you'll trust me whether you should go buy an ultrasonic cleaner or just use Goo Gone. You know, I have another video on how to clean the chains using Goo Gone. It's pretty self-explanatory, so check that video out if you want to see the results. It's pretty amazing and minimum efforts. Alright guys, so as promised, I want to show you guys what I did without ultrasonic cleaner for just probably around 10 to 15 minutes for every components shown here. With Goo Gone, it's spray, slide brush with a brass brush, and then just rinse. And look at how well the Goo Gone did the job. Okay, it's like sparkly clean. It's way better than the ultrasonic cleaner did for close to 30 minutes. Okay, the ultrasonic cleaner was not able to remove any of those stuck on grease, and the Goo Gone was able to strip it pretty much. And all I need to do now is just apply wax, right? So it did it for the Ultegra cassette, and it also did it for the additional cassette that I had just laying around. This is a Ceram 11-speed cassette, and look at how clean it did. All right, this is not the job of ultrasonic cleaner. This is just by Goo Gone and it's very light brushing. It's able to do a way better job. And that's what I want to show you guys, because I think a lot of people think ultrasonic cleaner, it's a machine, it probably is going to do a fantastic job. But no, sometimes your hand does a much better job than the ultrasonic cleaner. Look at the chain. Like, this chain was filthy. This is another chain that I took off from an actual bike. And this was the chain that the ultrasonic cleaner was having trouble cleaning. And look at how well the Goo Gone did for this chain. It's pretty much stripped clean. Again, all I need to do is wipe it clean, apply some wax. And this chain I removed from the bike. I just did a spot clean. It pretty much removed all the nasty grease on the chain for me to re-wax it. Fantastic job. This is just, you know, who needs ultrasonic cleaner? Nobody. And look at how clean it is. And seriously guys, don't waste your money on the ultrasonic cleaner. Just buy yourself some Goo Gone. It's like $7 for a big bottle, and clean your bicycle components with Goo Gone. It's the best thing ever. It also kind of prevents it from going to rust so quick if you don't wipe it off. But I always advise you wipe everything off once you finish cleaning. But the Goo Gone is not, it's not like a stripping degreaser where if you forgot to apply, lubes or wax, your component is gonna go rust. The Goo Gone, it's not gonna rust that fast. So that's also another advantage of using just Goo Gone. There you go. All right, so this is gonna wrap up the video, and yeah, hope you guys learned something. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.